Hey guys, it's Jay here and welcome back to the channel. So we are starting the week off with a daily crypto dive. It is the 26th of August 2024 and you are in the beginning of the halving cycle. We are seeing a reflection on that fear and greed index sitting at a 55 this morning. Greed, this is a really good time and you should feel positive with yourself if you was dollar cost averaging during that very fearful stage last week at around 28. So this is really positive and it's a good way to start the week with all of the other buzzing news that we've got going on. Stocks seem to be lining up for a huge week and AI just seems to be at the forefront of the conversation going forward. So let's jump over to crypto bubbles quickly and get a broader look at the market. Looking at that 1 to 100, we can see an absolute sea of green here on the week. If we flick over to the day quickly, we're getting mixed opinions and we can see that the market itself is feeling a little bit lethargic. And I think everybody's really fed up with the chop solidation, the moving up a little bit, moving down a bit, moving up a bit. It's really going to try and test the best of investors. And if you can learn to hold your bag during these really chaotic periods, it's going to pay off for you big time in the future. Everybody really does overlook that bold statement of if you can't hold, you won't be rich. And I think we don't take that seriously enough. I take that very seriously. And I hope by holding and buying in these really fearful times, I'm going to find myself in that financially free bracket after this halving cycle. So let's go over to our first news article here, which is a really positive one. And from my perspective, as someone who's actually developing and deploying a metaverse based on penguins, and I have a current playable build, this is brilliant news to see. So Sony themselves are introducing an Ethereum L2 blockchain, and it's called Sonium. And it's hailed as a next generation Ethereum L2 blockchain, which aims to tackle the challenges posed by traditional layer 1 solutions. As outlined in the announcement, Sonium's primary mission is to deliver a platform that is scalable, accessible, and efficient, all while improving transaction speeds and cutting down on fees. So looking deeper into this, the compatibility runs quite deep and it's all deployable with the EVM being that Ethereum virtual machine as stated here. And what they're aiming to target is really that development sector of crypto that's based around GameFi and that DeFi space. And they are aiming to attract more sophisticated smart contract developers and decentralized applications themselves. So this is really good news. And we could see Sony making a huge step into the crypto space and really bringing GameFi up to a level where it starts to get recognized. And we could see a big run all around the GameFi sector, as we've seen previously with meme coins, with NFT markets, with runes, and anything else that's really caught on to people in the past. So let's jump over to this next one, which is about Bitcoin ETFs. And we can see that there's been a $506 million weekly inflow as the market turns bullish. So they have recorded substantial inflows, signaling a potential bullish shift in the cryptocurrency market. So this is really good news, and coming on with this headwind of good news is a lot of stuff coming from Ripple and what they're going to be deploying. And they've been running tests in the background. And what we've seen is the issuing of 185 RLUSD during a private beta test. But if we actually look deeper into this, and I'll leave a link so you can actually keep up to date with this yourselves, is this account on Twitter that's actually a tracking bot of some kind. And we can see that there's been 2 transactions, one on the 21st of August and one on the 22nd of August. And what we're seeing here is the testing of 2 transactions, one of those being on the XRP Ledger side and the other on the Ethereum side. And they have minted those amounts of tokens, and there's a considerable difference in cost between the two. So when it comes down to RLUSD going into production mode, that could be a significant factor to take into account. So once again, that is just Ripple's way of testing its systems and doing it in a public way. And what I really think is XRP is going to be a heavily utilized asset in the decentralized sector once RLUSD goes live, because it provides a lot more opportunities for everybody that's in the cosmos, and we really need a reliable, stable asset in that sector, myself being prominently from the DeFi space. So there is more news about Ripple and the fact that, is Ripple's stablecoin going to be a win for the payments industry? And I really think it is. And that's the whole reason I believe it's being so heavily scrutinized by the SEC. And I think we're going to see a huge shift from XRP, Ripple, RLUSD, XRP Ledger, that whole side of things, now over to Solana as the SEC begins to target them. So we're going to see a lot more articles coming out in reference to stuff around XRP, stuff around Ripple, and it's just going to be really good as more people pick up on this. And what we're hoping is they're going to bring in a substantial amount of new retail. And Brad Garlinghouse himself being a rather prominent figure, I think they've got the ball game for this, and I think they've got the secret recipe that every other crypto is trying to find, which is everyday use and utilization. So let's move on to the next article here, which is about CZ and Binance facing a new lawsuit for alleged laundering of stolen crypto. And this is starting to be a common narrative. I've seen this in other articles in reference to other things we've covered in the other daily crypto dives that we have been doing recently. So we do know that there is a push from everyday holders that are trying to recover their stolen assets. So Binance and its former CEO CZ are facing a new class action lawsuit for 3 crypto investors who say they couldn't recover their stolen assets because the exchange failed to prevent money laundering. So August 16th, class action suit filed in the United States District Court for the Western District of Washington, Seattle. The plaintiffs allege their crypto was stolen and those funds were sent to Binance by the thieves to remove the connection between the ledger and their digital assets, making them untraceable. The plaintiffs urge that a key attribute of the crypto transactions is a permanent record of those transactions on the blockchain, which makes them permanently and accurately traceable. So this in itself is very interesting. I have been studying Binance since I first started doing content creation here on YouTube, and I'm very obsessed with them and their movements that they make surrounding all of the different assets that they're primarily involved in. And one of those assets is Lunar Classic, and we've seen some of the most peculiar movements you could ever see. Some of the most far-fetched things that have happened have all surrounded Binance. So when it comes down to these 3 crypto investors pushing a case like this, it makes me think if they're able to do it, there's going to be so many other people that are going to be opening these cases left, right, and center. And we could see the next PPJ wave. And if you don't know what the PPJ wave was, Google it and you'll understand exactly what I'm going on about. So the next piece of news is actually something that I've been speaking about recently here on the channel, which is the issues surrounding Bitcoin miners having a huge profitability problem and the need for BTC to be around 100k per coin for things to be profitable for them and not really be in a problematic situation. So BTC miners are facing a tough reality right now. The April halving cut rewards in half from 6.25 BTC to 3.125 BTC per block, making it harder for miners to stay profitable. On top of that, rising energy costs are eating into what little profit is left, and this is kind of a squeeze that has miners scrabbling to figure out how to keep the lights on and rigs running. And JP Morgan's latest report said that the second quarter of 2023 was a historic disaster for miners. According to analysts Reginald Smith and Charles Pierce, margins and profitability have been crushed across the board. So this, from my perspective, is a relatively easy thing to solve, but the price has to go up in order to solve it. And until that happens, they're going to continue to have this profitability problem. But this is the whole idea that surrounds BTC and the halving event. This is really what drives prices up. So this article in itself is actually more bullish than it looks. So let's keep moving forward because we have got some really interesting stuff kicking off in regards to freedom of speech. So we have seen that Pavel Durov detained in France, and this in itself doesn't seem like it has a huge effect on crypto, but it does. So this guy is actually a billionaire. He's the founder of Telegram, and then he's a significant figure in Toncoin. So Toncoin is taking a pretty substantial hit at this moment in time, and that's going to have a bleed out effect into the overall market. So we'll have to keep an eye on this situation as it evolves. So we have got some more fallout happening from that, and the Rumble boss saying he's departed from Europe after the Telegram CEO arrest. So once again, we're seeing these bleed out effects. We could see these small negative waves hitting the market early this week, but I think it's positive that it is happening earlier during the week, because this week in itself is set to be one of the biggest ones in crypto and stocks combined. So investors are betting big on crypto AI startups, and this to me feels like the .com era all over again. And there was thousands upon thousands of companies and startup companies that were born and died. And there were only major giants that made it through in the end. So I think we are going to see a huge tech boom when it comes down to AI, and Nvidia leading the charge with that. So artificial intelligence startups have taken center stage in venture capital investments, with significant funding rounds being led by companies strongly focused on artificial intelligence in the cryptocurrency sector. These startups have attracted substantial investments and reach billion-dollar valuations in their early stages. So this in itself is bullish news all round, because AI in itself is finding it's all becoming this major centerpiece of crypto. And what I'm starting to see is a lot of people are using AI to trade. Instead of doing it themselves, they're just merely governing it out to an AI bot, which is doing all of the hard work for them. It's doing all of the hodling for them. It's buying when it needs to buy, and it's selling when it needs to sell. And I think we're going to see more of this coming forward in the months and years ahead as AI is more broadly adopted. And what we could end up seeing is that the biggest whales in the game are primarily just AI bots. So here's this article that is really going over what is going to be possibly happening this week. And they're stating that new oil and gold crypto is suddenly braced for the most important week after a Federal Reserve powered Bitcoin surge. So if we scroll down here, we have got a decent little section here to go through. And IBS is expecting that Nvidia, which has seen its stock rocket to make it one of the world's second most valuable companies behind iPhone maker Apple over the last year, will post a mic drop second quarter on Wednesday as it solidifies its position as the only game in town for companies that are looking to buy artificial intelligent chips and GPUs. So this signals to us that something big could be coming around Wednesday. And if these guys post their second quarter report and it's way past that mic drop, or it's around that mic drop kind of level, then we're going to see another bleed out effect in a positive manner that hits the crypto market. I think we could be set for a pretty big week here in crypto if we do see a positive effect in the stock market, as we're currently seeing stocks rise ahead of that Nvidia report dropping. So I hope this has got you up to date with really what's been going on over the weekend whilst you may have been away. Although this isn't the most exciting news that's going on, it gives us a broader perspective on the market, and we're able to understand what could be possibly coming up in the days ahead. So do tune in tomorrow for another daily crypto dive. If you're new here, drop a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notifications bell if you haven't already, and just stay safe, stay humble, and stay aware. And I'll catch you in the next one.